Ryan Garcia versus Luke Campbell has been tentatively penciled in for November 14th in Los Angeles, California, and it will be for the WBC interim lightweight world title. Essentially, it's a final eliminator for the WBC world lightweight title, which is currently held by Devin Haney. Now, this would represent the biggest step up for Ryan Garcia in his career so far. Garcia is currently 20-0 with 17 KOs. I'm sure most of you have seen at least some of his fights. He's very fast, he's explosive, he's got power. He's a tall guy for the weight of 5'10", as is Luke Campbell. He's only 22 years of age, so very young, I believe 10 years younger than Campbell is. But if you look at his record, as I say, he's fought some solid guys, but nobody, I would say, as proven at lightweight as Luke Campbell, at least not in recent years. If we slide on over to Campbell's BoxRec page, as you see here, 32 years of age, 5'9", so at least according to BoxRec, an inch shorter than Ryan Garcia. But what's the reach like? 70 for Garcia, according to BoxRec, 71 for Luke Campbell. So, you know, the height and reach is around the same for both men. A similar number of fights, actually. Garcia, well, exactly the same number of fights. Exactly the same number of wins, excuse me. Campbell's had more fights. 20 wins for Garcia, 17 KOs. 20 wins for Campbell, 16 KOs. So very similar. It's just that Campbell's got those 3 points losses, whereas Ryan Garcia is undefeated. And if we have a look at Luke Campbell's career, his record, hasn't fought in 2020 yet. His last fight was against Vasyl Lomachenko, and that's over a year ago now. So, you know, inactivity an issue. When's the last time Ryan Garcia fought? He actually did fight in February this year. So the situation is slightly better for him. But both guys are going to be, you know, maybe a little rusty. At least Luke Campbell coming off such a long layoff if it does take place in November. But you have to expect it for Ryan Garcia as well. But ring rust, generally speaking, tends to affect older fighters more so than younger fighters. So, yeah, Luke Campbell went in there against Lomachenko. I personally felt as though the scorecards were a bit wide. Lomachenko won. Don't get it twisted. He definitely won the fight. But I feel like 119, 108 in favor of Lomachenko, that's too wide, bro. That does not tell the story of how competitive that fight actually was, particularly early on. Luke Campbell gave Lomachenko plenty of problems in that fight. That was actually one of Lomachenko's trickier fights. So I think Luke Campbell really acquitted himself well in that fight. Before that, he had several wins, including a revenge victory over Ivan Mendy, because Mendy gave Luke Campbell his first defeat. And then, of course, he lost to Jorge Linares back in 2017. And for me, these two fights right here, the Darlis Perez fight and the Jorge Linares fight, this was the pivotal moment in Luke Campbell's career. I say pivotal because when Luke Campbell turned pro, like he was an Olympian for the UK and all that, he still had a very, very old school British/European amateur style where he was very upright and stiff. Then he went over to the United States around this point in his career, around 2017. And he started training with some American trainers. He started sparring out in America and all this kind of stuff. And after that, I noticed a marked improvement in Luke Campbell's style. He became a lot more loose and fluid, and he just introduced a lot more of that professional American style into his game. And we saw it in the Linares fight. And going into the Linares fight, I think that's when his dad had just died, or his dad was very, very ill. I think his dad did subsequently die, correct me if I'm wrong. So it was a difficult time for him, but he still went in there and he gave a good account of himself. That fight was a split decision loss. It was close. So, yeah, I noticed an improvement. That was the point, really, where Luke Campbell became a professional, a proper professional. Before that, he was still kind of in this gray area where he had a lot of amateur in him, But that right there, 2017, that point was where he crossed over to becoming a proper professional, not only stylistically and in terms of, fitness or whatever. And he's always been physically fit, don't get it twisted, but there's a different level of fitness when you got to become a professional. You got to learn how to pace yourself and all that kind of stuff. So not only from a stylistic and physical point of view, but also from a mental point of view. This is where Luke Campbell really became a professional. This is where he really understood what it takes, especially at the highest level in the professional game. So 2017, I think, was Luke Campbell turning from boy to man. And I know he was in his late 20s by then, mid-late 20s, but still, that was the moment where he really arrived for me. And since then, yeah, he's failed when he stepped up to the very highest level, but he's given a real good account of himself, both against Linares and I would say even more so against Lomachenko, even though the fight wasn't as close as the Linares fight. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting test for Ryan Garcia. You have to figure that Garcia is going to be the favorite here. At the end of the day, it's in his backyard. He's the younger guy. He's the fresher guy. He doesn't have the miles on the clock that Luke Campbell has. I mean, Luke Campbell's been in tough fights. The Jorge Linares fight was a tough fight. The Lomachenko fight was a real tough fight. Even his first loss against Ivan Mendy was a real tough fight. And there's others as well. So Luke Campbell, he does have miles on the clock. Ryan Garcia doesn't. Ryan Garcia, as we know, very, very fast. Sets his knockout punches up very, very well. So, yeah, he is understandably the favorite. But if Luke Campbell can hold his boxing together and just try to maybe be technical with Ryan Garcia early on and see where that gets him. Can he frustrate Garcia? Will Garcia be looking to impress? You know, sometimes a young guy, especially Garcia, is only 22 years old, who's looking to go out there and maybe blast somebody out. He can make mistakes, fall into traps if he's up against a veteran. You know, that's what Luke Campbell must be hoping for in their fight. That's the scenario he must be trying to envision in his mind. Is just have a look early at Garcia, see if he can frustrate him, see if he can maybe have a technical fight with him and see if he can come out better in that type of situation. If not, then maybe he'll have to take it to the guy, you know. But as I say, Ryan Garcia is very fast and explosive. So maybe it'll be his coming out party at world level because there's still, in the United States, I mean, in the UK, not many people know Ryan Garcia. Beyond us hardcore fans, not many people know him. But in the States, yeah, a lot of people are excited about Garcia, but there's also a fair degree of skepticism in terms of, you know, he hasn't fought anybody yet and he's only very young and he's quite brash, but who's he fought? There's still this kind of thing with him. So this will be a legitimate test for him. And if he can get past Luke Campbell, especially if he does it in impressive fashion, then that is a box ticked on the way to a showdown with, you know, Devin Haney, which will be a tremendous occasion, right? We'd all love to see Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. That would be a big, big fight. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you looking forward to this one? Again, tentatively penciled in for November 14 in Los Angeles, California. How do you see the fight going? I'm going to assume that most of you are picking Ryan Garcia, and myself included, I'm picking Garcia to win. But how do you see the fight playing out? Do you think it will be competitive? Do you think it will be one-sided? Maybe you feel like Luke Campbell's got a good shot at scoring an upset. Whatever the case may be, drop it all in the comment section below. It's happening. I'm out.